Performance SUVs to me are like those girls who look good, they're cool, you love them, but then deep down, you know you're not gonna end up with them.
And that's why he doesn't get any girls. Well, I'm Gavin.
I'm Dinuk, you're watching Talk.
Despite Gavin's remark, which is completely false, the Stelvio Quadrifoglio is one of the earliest and greatest Italian answers to the sports SUV trend, which are now highly in demand. So, let's talk about what drives this Alfa. Even though deep down, I know no matter what it is, it still wouldn't make sense to me.
It's driven by a twin-turbo V6, which is basically the same as the Ferrari California engine. With 2 less cylinders, it puts up 505 horsepower and 600 Newton meters of torque.
It's basically the same as the Giulia that just said.
Yes, and then something about the Giulia. Now, Alfa fans are something else. Now, you guys are very, very peculiar, for the lack of a better word. And when we did the Giulia review, I was like, this car feels turbocharged, but then there are no turbochargers.
Power delivery isn't equal because like 1 to about 3000 RPMs, it's like, are we even going? But after 3000 RPMs, it's like, okay, this is getting scary. Yeah. Which is something most, I think turbocharged cars have that feeling, but this does.
You guys didn't notice that. Ha. Anyway.
But you'll notice Alfa.
Yeah. Competition.
So for competition, you got the GLC 63S.
You got the RSQ8, and you've also got the X5M. Yep. And out of all of them, I like this.
This looks, exterior-wise, this looks much better because the GLCs, for me, they've overdone it. It looks like the person that has gone to the gym, taken a shit ton of steroids, and just looks tall and big. That's it.
Yeah.
But this,
this is, and this
different.
Is Italian.
Exactly.
Like to own an Alfa is just, you're just
Something
better
else.
than the Germans by just one step.
Yeah.
And this sounds better too. Let's see what this sounds like.
Yep.
Oh, so
I'm gonna put the mic behind.
No, it's gonna be too loud. But this is not dynamic. The drive-away price of this is $187,000 brand new, and for that price, there's no other car that meets.
Can match this, yes.
Yes, because like the RSQ8 is $300,000. The GLC 62ES is above 200. The G-Wagons, XMs, all of them are above $300,000 for a performance SUV, and this is like way cheaper than them. It's faster than them.
And then there's no point of buying something like that. If you're going to spend over 300,000, you might as well get 2 of these.
Yeah, literally. You're worried about reliability? Get 2 of this. It's way more fun.
Despite the reliability issues, which honestly isn't really common anymore, but still offends Alfa owners to this day, this Alfa does get a few cool things that makes buying one so enticing. So, here's a few.
Now, given that this is a V6 engine and it only has a 64-liter tank capacity, road trips are basically going to be a tour of all the fuel stations. But this does get a cylinder shutoff feature, which means you can drive a bit more economically. This is a tall SUV. It only weighs 1,800 kilos. It has a rear torque vectoring feature, and it also gets all-wheel drive with a rear-wheel bias. So that means this will stick like kids in a blanket on the corners. The coolest feature of all of them is the fact that this is a SUV, and it has a very, very powerful engine. And that means I can take it off-roading. I mean, it's not off-roaded with a lock-in diff and all that, but I would love to send that off a dune.
But there's a few reasons why you shouldn't rush to get this Alfa over its competitors. Here's why.
Now, despite this being a big SUV, it's got very limited leg space, and you would expect a bit more, but there's plenty of head space.
Now on the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, if you want the exhaust to sound so much better, you have to put it into race mode, which basically turns everything off. No traction, no stability, and on dynamic it's not as good. And this was the same with the Alfa Romeo Giulia that we tested. It's like the Italian said, "You want good noise, huh? You want to impress girl? Better be ready to risk your life."
Moving on to more important things, the exterior design of the Stelvio Quadrifoglio.
What's the first thing you notice?
That it's nice.
And
it's different to normal sports SUVs that we've seen or we've driven.
Yeah.
Exterior-wise, it just looks cool, like the front bonnet, the grille in the front. Like the Alfa always has this iconic grille, which I like.
Yeah, and
the V-shaped one.
Yeah, even like the Stelvio, the 4C, the Giulia, they do share a similar front, which I do like. And
it's not like they want to differentiate each vehicle that they have with by doing something stupid.
Yes.
It's
And the
just
most
plain and
noticeable
simple.
thing about this car, it's lowered, unlike the other Stelvio Quadrifoglios out there, because all the other ones, they just look wrong because it's
And they
way too
stand a
tall.
bit taller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I do love about this car is the paint and the livery. It does so good. And that retro man, go check him out because he designed and customizes furniture, and you do have to look into that. If you're in Adelaide, make sure to check him out. And apart from that though, I do love this car. And this has got to be the best looking back end as well.
Yeah.
And Gavin loves back ends. Anyway, compared to the normal Stelvio though, it looks so much more aggressive because like
Yeah. The front itself looks a bit aggressive.
the front
And the other
bumper-
one, look, which is nice, is that this is not awkward.
yeah,
Because like on the M4, the new
yeah.
M4, it looks a bit awkward. But
Yes.
this looks,
It
looks
suits the
much
car.
better.
but exterior wise,
It's nice. I'd have to give
This
it
is-
a 10.
okay. One SUV, one performance SUV that I do love is the Lamborghini RS because it looks very good.
Yeah.
And after that, I think it would be this. Oh,
The RSQ8 is also there.
yeah, but then
But
the
it
RS,
doesn't look much aggressive.
the RSQ8 looks a bit boring compared to the Italian.
Heritage.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about the interior of the Giulia. No, I'm kidding. The Stelvio, it's pretty much the same thing though.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, since you tested the Giulia before, it's not a huge difference. Because like, it's still the same thing.
It's literally
I-
the same thing.
I wish they would have done something like, you know, just to differentiate. Now,
Yeah.
I did say in the first bit in the exterior that it's nice that they have kept the front end similar to all Alphas.
Mhm, yeah.
But they could have done something different in the interior just to, you know, feel like, oh, I've got something a bit different.
Yes.
Because like you got the carbon fiber, you got the red stitching, you got the nice steering.
It's literally the same
They
thing.
could have put a sunroof.
Yeah. My thoughts, I love the steering wheel. I love the fact that they kept the same steering wheel from the Giulia because it does look quite beautiful. I love the driver's display, the two analog and the digital in the middle. It does look good. Build quality isn't the greatest because if you move down here, all of them are a bit,
Yeah.
and this is wobbly as well. But anyway, I do like the design. I love the fact that the paddle shifters are mounted on the steering column, not the steering wheel. Overall design, I do like it. Now, there wasn't a problem with the Giulia, and that's why I think I'm okay with this. I love the design wise. You get carbon fiber
You get
on
plenty
the,
of carbon fiber. You get
Yeah.
carbon fiber all the way get on the door.
You get even the door
center
as
console.
well.
So,
and yes, I think a sunroof would be a very, very good addition to an SUV. But overall, I do like it. I do like it. Now, this car does get a heated steering wheel. It does get heated seats as well, and the seats are electronically adjustable, which is quite nice. Harman Kardon sound system, and overall, I actually do like it. But I think they could have done a bit more when it comes
just
to
to give it a bit of pizzazz.
yes, maybe at least a different color.
Yeah.
It's just black and red stitching.
It is extremely dark in here.
Yeah.
If it was dark, you wouldn't be able to see me.
Yes, I think a red interior would suit this car.
Yeah.
White paint.
Or like, you know, in the M3 Touring, how they had the orange
orange
interior.
steering, yeah.
So something a bit different.
Yeah, it's just the color wise. They could have something
Yeah,
done a
it's
bit
very
more.
dark and dull.
Yeah, I love this steering wheel though. It's one of the coolest steering wheels I've seen
And
on
it's
any
got,
car.
and the steering wheel's got everything. It's got leather, it's got carbon fiber, it's got
Yes.
like Alcantara.
Yes.
So it's
Oh, one thing I don't like, the infotainment system. I mean, it's just
small.
it's small and it's placed in a weird way. Now the newer cars do get a touchscreen, but then this doesn't.
Yep.
And I like it. I like it. The build quality not the greatest compared to the German cars, but
I mean, there's something that they have to do a bit less, right?
yes. Oh, one thing I also like, the Alfa Romeo stitching on there.
Yes, they've put it almost everywhere. It's
Yeah.
on the seats, it's on the infotainment system.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
No, sorry. No. We'll find out. Okay, let's go for a drive in the Stelvio Quadrifoglio, which is very, very stock. Isn't that right, Mark?
Yep.
Yep, very stock. Alright, let's start with this car now. Even though we are on dynamic mode, the soft dampeners are on, so it's not too stiff and it's quite comfortable in here. One thing I really, really love about the car, I just hit a butterfly. Anyway, one thing I really love about this car is the steering feel. Now, even though this is a big SUV, it literally gets to the corners very, very aggressively, and that's something we all have to love. This does get
all-wheel drive, but it doesn't really send power to the front wheels unless it's really needed. And the way this thing sounds, my god, it sounds so good.
Sounds like an absolute beast.
And acceleration now, despite it being only 500 horsepower and being heavy, it's a very, very quick car. And this is very similar to the Guilia Quadrifoglio when it comes to the way it sounds, except this is a bit louder. But I really, really do love Alfas. All 3 Alfas we've tested
I've just been
phenomenal. Literally. And acceleration. Even the braking on this, it's not the best, but it's enough. It's literally enough. Now, when we are talking about the... Oh, there's an understeer. That's nice. The gearbox, now, if you leave it on automatic, it is a bit delayed, but then on race mode, it's so much better. Unfortunately, we are not gonna jump onto race mode because that turns everything off, and that's not really something I'm willing to push, but we'll get Mark on in a bit. He can test it. Oh, those upshifts. The way it sounds, literally, it's like someone just pulling a trigger. Listen. This car is so much fun. I will say that this is the most fun performance SUV we've had on the channel. We've had a fair few, to be honest.
Yeah,
and my favorite used to be the RSQ8, but this triumphs it. This is so much fun. Oh, this is just pure aggression. Even the exterior, the way it looks and the way it drives, they match.
Yeah.
And now let's get Mark behind the wheel.
Let's do it. So I have a mid-century furniture shop on O'Connell Street, North Adelaide. If you want to check it out, Instagram, That Retro Man. I specialise in the restoration of Australian, English, Italian and American mid-century furniture.
And he owns the 4C that we tested as well.
Yes.
And he also got our about 500.
I certainly do, yes.
Yes.
You might see on the channel maybe when it's
Soon.
done.
Alrighty, let's go.
Now Mark drives
Properly.
properly, like us.
I try to.
I can see Gavin swirling in the back. My god, the way this sticks to the floor. Now this is why we need to put the owners behind the wheel, Gavin.
Yep.
And let's get on to the final thoughts. Gavin, you want to start?
Now this is perfect. Like, out of all the performance SUVs you've driven or tested, this has to be like, this trumps it all. I would have to give it a, I don't know, 9.5.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Now one thing I'm very, very surprised about this car is how it sticks to the floor
It
despite
sticks
it being...
like glue.
Sticks like shit to a blanket.
Exactly, that was Mark's joke, by the way. Now, the way this thing sticks to the floor, even though being a tall car, it's amazing. And like, Mark's been driving this properly. I'm still surprised how we didn't go off the fucking road.
I mean, if we drove it, there might have been a chance.
Yes, I think this has to be the best performance SUV we've gotten so far. I mean, we've tested how many now? The XM, the G-Wagon, the
RSQ8.
the RSQ8, but this is on a completely different level. And Mark,
Oh. Yeah, I bought the car originally because I needed a car that would do everything because I was trading in a couple of other cars. So I bought it so I could transport furniture. Yes, I do transport furniture in this. But also something that could destroy GT500 Mustangs, which I definitely found.
oh, this is something else. This is so much fun. that's where we'll leave the video. See you guys on the next one.
Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe.